All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 61 of my Gateway Experience. Thank you so much for tuning in. The purpose of these videos is to document my journey through the Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience. The Gateway Experience is a scientific process of self mastery, and I had a different way that I wanted to. I had a different repeatable. Yes, it's scientific and repeatable process of self mastery through these six waves that have six tapes in each wave. So for a total of 36 tapes, if we listen to them in a progressive manner and we apply everything on there and we really do it, we can achieve self mastery. Now, if you do it one time each, you could do it in 36 days. I'm doing it 10 times each, so for a total of 360 days. I just really wanted to stick. I wanted to go deep into my subconscious and superconscious mind to be able to create from there. And so if you haven't seen any of my other videos, go ahead and check those out because you'll be able to see where I started and where I am now. So let's get right into it. Right now it is October 24th, 2022, and today is a Monday, and it is 10:23 a.m. Today, woke up at like 8:30, and it's been a slow morning, spending time with the kids and the wife a little bit, just here and there, interacting with them. It's been great. And when I woke up, went ahead and did my morning routine, and then after that, after I finished the problem solving tape for the eighth time, since today's episode 61, tomorrow will be episode 62, will be the ninth time, 63 will be the 10th time, and then we'll be going into the next tape. So every day, I just want to bring back something that I get from it, at least a little bit of advice or even just an analysis of the practice and or a holistic approach through storytelling. And you'll see I kind of go back and forth, and that allows me to just keep going. So what I want to talk about, I want to come back to more of an analytical, scientific approach to today's practice because I really want to get down to like the fine details of this Focus 12 tape. I feel like a lot of the other ones had more inherent because they had more meat to them. The problem solving tape, I mean, this one, it's not so much the Focus 12, but we have to get into Focus 12, which is what I want to specifically talk about today and really break down. But I know the other ones, they had quite a bit of meat to them because it was about our thoughts, which we have all kinds of crazy thoughts, and about our emotions with through the release and recharge, and even about our imagination through the Focus 10 tape. This one is a little bit more subtle, and it's a little bit more of the total self, right? And so that's what I'm going to get into right now, basically. So as we start out, we go from that initial state of the C1, which is consciousness one. It's just our five sense reality with our sense of smell, our sense of taste, our sense of sight, our sense of touch, and our sense of hearing. We use these senses to create a reality around us. And one of the most powerful ones really is our sense of sight. But when we go into this practice, we close our eyes. So we're taking that away. And then we're influencing our mind, our hemispheric synchronization through the hearing. And obviously our mouth is closed and our body is staying still. So basically we're shutting down all the five senses except for the hearing in order to influence this experience that we're undergoing in order to achieve self mastery. That's what I believe, and that's how I'm putting it because you need to be able to master yourself in order to go out of your body. If you don't even have full control of your body, how can you get out of it? That's how I look at it. Because what will happen, especially at the beginning, I remember my arms would twitch here and there. as I was asking my body to just relax and fall asleep, my legs would twitch here and there. And because of all this stimulus and input that I was putting my body through, that it was just reacting and reacting. And then the thing about it that you realize is that it's the same way with our brain. Our brain has certain patterns that we go through that we kind of repeat. It's a cycle, and mostly it's based on fear. And that's what we're learning to just completely demolish with love and presence and consciousnness, because that's what allows us to expand and understand that we are all truly one, right? We all might have different shapes and sizes of our body and different kind of makeups. You know, some are women, some are men, but at the end of the day, we all come from the same source, the same building blocks, so to speak, the same creator, right? So, and we all have that creative capacity. And so these are the things that we're becoming aware of. And it's a lot like taking flight, or a lot like swimming out of a pool. You have to, the water is much more dense, you know, and you have to kind of like really, really go through it, and you have to swim, and you have to like really go through a lot of resistance, the water resistance, as you're swimming up to the surface of the water. And sometimes, you know, you might poke your head out of the water, and you'll take a deep breath, but then all of a sudden there's a wave that comes in, and then you go back down under the water, and you have to kind of swim again. And then eventually you learn how to stay atop of the surface of the water. And then eventually, now that you're out of the water, you're in the air. So then to go even above that and keep going, it's almost like floating. It's almost like taking flight. It's like, that's basically the best way I can explain it. And so to go to a very detailed approach of explaining that, I'm going to talk about our thoughts and our emotions as well. And then also how, you know, how when we are thinking something, and let's say that we're trying to solve a problem, and we're not doing it with our super conscious mind, we're more worrying. It's more about worrying. So we're thinking about like all the things that could go wrong, and then you're thinking about all the ways that you could avoid those things going wrong. So then you start thinking, okay, I'll do this, and then I'll do that, and then I'll try to do this and that'll stop the bad thing from happening. And what happens a lot of the time when we do that is we actually create more problems, because we're anticipating something that's not even here yet. It's based on fear, okay? And so that's one facet of it. And then with our emotions, we might be sometimes like, same thing with fear, but now it's manifest in a different way. It's called anger, right? We're going through our day, and then one thing, somebody cuts us off in traffic, and all of a sudden we're like, oh man, now I'm not gonna get to where I wanted to go as quickly as I needed to go, so now I'm angry. And that sends a bunch of chemical reactions to your brain and body, and now you're in fight or flight mode, and it pumps a bunch of adrenaline. All your blood pumps out of your brain and your torso and into your hands and your legs, and you're in a chemical imbalance. Now you're going to be affected with that throughout the rest of the day. Now, when you're over here doing the dishes at night and you're trying to clean everything, you're thinking about how this guy cut you off in traffic. And for a lot of people, it's a cycle that repeats itself, and then they get addicted. They get addicted to the adrenaline, so then they'll do it on purpose. They'll get angry. They'll justify, like, hey, you know, I wanted to get angry. I needed to get angry. It was something that helps me just blow off some steam, you know, because I like this adrenaline hit that I just got to take, you know. And that's not necessarily the best approach either, because you're just creating this chemical dependency in your own body and your own temple. So those are two modalities. There's the thoughts and there's the emotions. And as we become aware of these things, we're going into a focus 10, which is just allowing our body to just fall asleep while remaining fully aware and being the observer. Now, that's not perfect because then there's sometimes when you'll think about someone and that'll trigger all kinds of emotional things that you had in your brain that had to do with that person, okay? And that had to do with that experience, that relationship that you had with that person. And the way you led them, and the way they led you, the way you influenced them, and the way they influenced you, and how that might have not been the best thing to happen. But then eventually you come back to your body, and then you come back to your brain, and then you come back to this trip that you just went on of memory down memory lane. That's not really the present moment where you can actually create from. So your energy is being drained because of this one thing. And so moving forward, now you become wise and you're like, okay, now I know how to not behave in the future and do these things this way or that way, how to spot different characters and how to have discernment. So it's actually a positive thing in the end. So now we're talking about full people relating, not just within yourself, with your thoughts and your emotions, but also other people. Okay? And so to go above that, to go above all of that water that I just laid out, the water of thoughts, the water of emotions, the thought of your actions interrelated with other people, then you can start to really see things from a higher perspective. And that is like a bird looking down and seeing all these fish in the water swimming around trying to avoid predators and all these things. And maybe the fish is hungry, maybe it's not hungry, maybe this fish doesn't eat, let's just say he's just observing and he's just going through and just flying through the sky. And if he wants, he can go and land on top of a tree. Okay? Or if he wants, he can go and fly through a cloud or whatever he wants to do. Right? And so this is what Focus 12 is like. And this is what problem solving in the Focus 12 tape is like. It's like looking at the water and maybe throwing out a little pebble into the water and seeing the ripples. And now you can see, oh, if I throw this pebble into the water, I know all the ripples that it's going to make, and I know how to maybe put a blockade there so that ripple doesn't keep going and create a wave or whatever. And or if I want to let that ripple keep going and then I want to create a wave and then let that go into the beach, I can do that as well. So that's what I want to say about this Focus 12 experience. That's what it's like a lot of the times for me doing it for the 8th time. At first, I have to sit there and go through the practice and build up to where we are now, episode 61, and really pay attention to my thoughts and put my thoughts and my worries and my concerns into my energy conversion box. Then I have to align all of my emotions and everything through the resonant tuning and the resonant energy balloon and feel my energy, feel my presence. And then focus 10 is to allow that body to just go to sleep while remaining awake and aware above the water. And then I can start to play once I'm fully above the water and understanding that we are more than our physical body and relating with that higher self, being closer to it. We can start to see the effects of certain pebbles that might fall into our lake, our serene lake, and the pebbles are problems, and we can even really simulate how we want to solve them efficiently and effectively, instead of trying to throw pebbles because we are under the water, trying to solve different things that haven't even happened yet. So that's what I have to share for today, and I hope that you can understand what I'm saying. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, I highly suggest that you try these tapes out for yourself. Uh, I suggest that you just try it out. Go on YouTube, look at one of the HemiSync Monroe Institute tapes, and just do it for 30 minutes and see what it does for you. See where you go. I remember the first time I did it, I fell asleep, and I was amazed at how effective it. It was like the middle of the day. I had no reason to be falling asleep, but it was the hemispheric synchronization, and my body needed the rest because I was pushing myself past way beyond my limit, and my brain was suffering because of that. But now I'm at a point where I'm looking forward to using my energy bar tool, doing the living body map, and going even beyond Focus 12. So if you have questions, let me know down below. And until next time, I will see you guys soon.